Right, hello there guys, welcome to another video. In this one we're going to be carrying on from the last, so we've got the server set up. We've still got our services, so I'm just bring that on over here. Still got the services set up, the server's running. Now what does the client need to do to see that server? So you're going to need this on the computer that's hosting it. Unless it's, you're going to need this on the computer that's hosting it, and your friends are going to need to get this too. So on the same download page, perforce.com/downloads/helix, you're going to come on down here to the P4V visual client. And select your operating system, hit download. Same as before, skip registration unless you'd like to register. And then we're going to install this. Now I think I already have this installed, so probably by the way that we've got the number 1 there, we'll see. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove it really quickly, set it up all fresh, and then I'm going to just fire it back up again. So I'll go through the install process with you. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we are. This is the install process that you'll see. Now, you're going to want the administration tool for sure, the P4 admin. Now, your friends won't need this. This is only for you as the server administrator. The visual merge tool, we're not going to use that if you're working with a real engine 4, so we can get rid of that. And again, the command line client, I don't really want it, so we're going to get rid of that again. Go ahead and hit next. Now the server. Now remember this server here. Remember the server that we set up last time? This one. We took a note of the server name there. We're going to copy that now and put that into here as the server. Text editing program. I'm happy with that being Notepad, and my username. Let's go ahead and Alphabel. Yeah, MMO names. Why not? Let's go ahead and install that. So that username can be anything you want. It doesn't have to be anything specific, but make sure you put the host as the server. And I forget what the second option was. The second option was the text editing program. So if you use something like Notepad++ or Notepad++, or whatever other text editing programs there are, then excuse me, then go ahead and set that as your preferred text editing program. So installation completed. Fine. Let's go ahead now, and I'm just pressing start here. I'm going P4 and then V. P4V will give me this little thing here. So the server, I apologize for that. Let me mute my phone. Sorry. So the server then, again, there it is. Whoa, okay, it's not actually the HTTP side of it, so that may have messed something up back there, but whatever. We put that in there. The username, Alphabel, we already set that up. The workspace, ignore this for now. We're going to leave that blank for now. And hopefully this isn't going to embarrass me, so let's try again with the correct port. Nope, not happy with that. Okay, how about if I just put 1666? Yep, okay. If you're on the machine with the server, so let's say you're on, so this computer here that we're watching on has the server running, just put the port number in for now. Username, we're going to go ahead and hit new. Username is Alphabel. My full name is Alphabel. My password, I'm going to put in a password. And an email address. Whatever. This is just stored locally. This doesn't go up to their servers or anything. This is just for you locally. So that's what I'm going to do there. Again, I'm going to leave the workspace blank, leave it on 1666. And that now gives us, hold on a minute, let me drag this window over here. Do I want to check for a new version? Not really. So that gives us this nice little P4V window here. Let's go ahead and maximize that. So what is this? This is the visual interface for the server. Now you see this little thing here we've got called Depot here, right? Now Depot is where the server stores things. So if I were to bring up a file explorer, okay, I've dragged it, but I'm not. There it is. I'm bring up File Explorer and head into my local disk drive and find where I installed Perforce and go on over to server. I believe I put this one in server. Why did I put this one in server 2? No, because I don't have a depot set up. Right. Sorry, I'm trying to think back to when I did this. Anyway, totally lost my train of thought now. Okay, so yeah, let me bring up Paint and try and demonstrate what we've got here. So what you have is, if I can just erase this. That's not an eraser. Yeah, I'm messing this up. Let's just start a new one. Okay, so you've got your friends, your computer here, and you've got the server, right? On the server, you have a depot, which is what we saw there. So the depot on the server is this big folder where all your nice files are going to be saved. And now as a client, what you can have is you can have this space called a workspace. Now, a workspace will be linked up to the depot, right? Like so. But as a client, you can have more than one workspace. So let's say you're working on the same project from the same depot, right? But in this one, you build it so that it's got, you're building in a first-person shooter, you make it so that it looks like Crysis 3 in this one. But in your other workspace, you can make it so that it looks like Borderlands 2. And then whichever one you're really happy with, you can push it up to the depot and commit it up there. So that's the one up there. That will be the final one. So, so you can work on those two locally before you push them to the server depot. And then whichever one you want to push up will be the one that remains the master on the server, really. So let's go ahead and make a workspace for ourselves. So we can go over to Workspaces, New Workspace. And now I'm going to name this workspace name Desktop Workspace. And I'm going to choose a nice folder for it. So I'm going to go to my documents, my personal projects, my Unreal Engine 4 projects. I'm going to make a new folder, tutorial workspace. So this is where I want my work to go, in this tutorial workspace folder. That's fine. We're going to leave these others blank. And we're just going to go ahead and, just hit OK there. So, right, it said, okay, cool, you've made a workspace, but the server's actually empty, Joel. So what's going on here? So this is where we can put our first files on the server. So let's say, for example, what I would do personally, I'll go through the steps with you instead of just talking you through them. So what I would do is, I'm starting a new project. This is the beginning of a new project. I'm going to start a nice game with my friends. We're going to make a first-person shooter together. So what I would do is fire up Unreal Engine, launch the engine. Just give that a moment to launch. And what I'm actually going to do is just make a project and save the project, close out the engine, copy those project files into my workspace, and then I'm going to push that workspace up to the server. So making a new project with my friends, first person. You know what, let's put it straight in there. So let's go find personal projects, Unreal projects, tutorial workspace, and we're going to name this FPS Tut for now. Create the project. I'm going to exit pretty much immediately. Okay, right. Okay, cool. So I made a project. Yep, cool. I've done my first day's work. Save it all. Close it out. I'm going to go over here and hit Browse to my documents. Down to my personal projects, Unreal Engine 4 projects, inside Tutorial Workspace. And this FPS tutorial folder is what I want to upload. So we're going to go ahead. That's 600 meg. We can go ahead and fire that up. Just hit this classic depot over here. Ignore the streams depot. We're just going to use the classic depot. Hit next and start that. And what that's doing now is pushing those files up to the server. So essentially, because the server is on my computer, it's just copying the files from my documents to where my server stores them. It's not doing anything complicated right now. It's just pushing them up. So we'll just give that a minute to complete. Sorry about the long wait. Okay, cool. So user alphabet has put those in from the workspace up to 1666. Great. Now in the depot, you can see here that we actually have this FPS tutorial now. Now if I head on back over to that, and there you are, inside server now, we now have this folder called depot. Inside here we have the FPS tutorial, and you have the U project and whatnot. It's all up there. Cool, so that's now on the server. We've now got the client side, and it's now on the server. So what do I do? Well, let's put a new scenario out there. You're a solo developer. You just want a way to keep previous changes of your work. So we've got this set up. We can close out of P4V now. That's cool. Damn, gotta go find Unreal Engine again. Where do I put that thing? There it is. I tell you what, you can actually just fire it up from your documents, personal projects, and I could just fire it up from here. So what I'm going to show you now is basically getting it synced up, getting Unreal Engine integrated with Perforce. Now, when you log in, you'll see up here, source controls, it's got this red cross over it, it's disabled. What we're going to go ahead and do is enable that. So connect to source control. We're going to be using Perforce. The server, we're going to change it to 1666. And you see that the username Alphabel was already in there. When you hit available workspaces, you should now see the workspace that you created, the desktop workspace. Now, it knows that the server is running on the local machine. So you just go ahead and accept those settings. And you didn't see it because it was in the bottom right. It was on my very right hand monitor, but it says connection successful. And you can see up here now with this little tick, the little green arrow saying that source control is now enabled. That's really cool. That's great. So what I can now do is open up these blueprints or something. And now this is the new workflow that you're going to need to adapt. So when you're working with your friends, you no longer just click on a blueprint, edit it, and save it. You don't do that anymore. What you now need to be doing is first of all right-clicking, refreshing, and then that will, if your friends made a change, the refresh will say changes need to be synced. There'll be a nice little sync button here where the checkout is. You press that, wait for the sync to happen. I wish I could demonstrate this, but I need to fire up some. I'd need to fire up. Do you know what? I wonder if I can fire up 2 Unreal Engines of the same project and make a new user on Perforce. Do you know what? That's worth a shot, right? Surely that's worth a shot. Let's see if I can mimic this and do 2 users at the same time. So alpha 2. I should probably actually. I don't even need that password, do I? Oh yeah, I've got. Trying to rush that. Okay. Simple 1, 2, 3 will do. Don't need a workspace just yet. Right, okay. Cool. So this is now in there as Alpha 2. Alpha 2 is going to get a new workspace. We're going to browse. Going to go down to Documents, Personal Projects. And I'm actually going to make a new folder. Oh, no, not inside here. I need to make one in here. Tut2. So I'm going to try and demonstrate this workspace name, whatever. Okay, cool, that's fine. Source control, connect to source control as Perforce. So this is on the second account now. Now what was it? It was Alpha 2, right? On 1666. No workspace was found, but yeah, Alpha 2. On the workspace was under the name of blah 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 blah. So it wants a workspace. God, alpha 2 underscore desktop /t41n2lo underscore 2954. Now that was the workspace name that it generated, and it does not like that at all. Whatever. Okay, cool. So I tried to run 2, didn't work. Ignore that. Sorry. So back to where we were. You got the source control set up. You got the little green arrows up there, connected, enabled. You got your desktop, whatever, set up. So as I was mentioning with that workflow, you need to refresh, and it'll tell you if there's any changes. Then you need to sync if there are changes. If not, now you need to check out. So you see here now, notice this. I've got that little red tick there. That means that I've checked out the file. That is mine to edit. If someone else was on this same Perforce server, working on the same project, they could not check out this blueprint. They could still open it. They could still double click on this blueprint. They could still go in here and they could still move whatever they want to move around. They could still save it. But it wouldn't be... how to put this? Because the library example doesn't really work here. Now, I've checked out this book from my library, but at the same time, my friend can edit the same book without checking it out, but he can't check it in because he never checked it out in the first place. If that makes sense. I hope it does. Anyway, so I've checked this out now. I can go ahead and make my changes. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to check this back in. So there you go. You can see how to check it back in there. Save it. And when you check something in, just a note here, you need to add a description. So if I've added a new gun, right? You really need to take notes. This is where this is good practice. You need to make sure that you follow this good practice. You could put whatever characters you want in there, but just take a note of what you've actually done before you check it into the server. Because when you want to roll back later and you've named all of your little commits, you've named them all to Seabrook and glasses and whatever, and just total random objects. then you're not going to know where the last working one was, what you're actually rolling back to. Whereas if I say added a new gun, and then it breaks, I can say, actually, wait a minute, it broke after I added the gun, right? So I can roll back to where I added the gun. So it just helps you remember these things later on. Anyway, now, so what we're going to do is, this is going to be hard to demonstrate. Actually, it shouldn't be too bad. Let me just check something real quick. So inside, I'm trying to demonstrate that it does actually push up to the server. Right, let's find which drive I'm on here. Perforce, server, and inside content, what can I see? Alright, I can see that's inside animations, right? And inside blueprints, right. Okay, so what we're going to do is inside blueprints, I'm going to go ahead and make a new blueprint. So this is me just working on it again. A new actor. I'm going to name this Hello World. And you'll see why in a minute. Now this little question mark here, see that? That now allows me to mark for add. Because this means it's down here locally. It's on my workspace, but that isn't up in the cloud. That's not on the server. So I need to mark that for an add. And then I need to submit those changes to source control. And you can see here we've now got the little workspace FPS tutorial. That's where it's going. What did I do? I added hello world actor. Okay, cool. That's now submitted. Great. Now I'm going to exit out of this. And I'm going to go on up to the depot here. So remember, when I save in Unreal Engine 4, it will save to this folder here, the tutorial workspace, the one where I was working, right? That's cool, it's saved there. But because I committed it to the server, I can now go up to Program Files, to Perforce, to my server, and inside here, inside Content, inside my blueprints, you'll see that we actually now have that there, the Hello World asset. So if I were to log on my laptop on the same Wi-Fi network at this point, if I were to log on my laptop on the same network, and I were to sync up to this server and to pull it down, I would have all of this. I would have whatever this change has been. So you notice here, it's basically a backup at this point. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to end this video here. What I'm going to do in the next video is we're going to take a look at connecting to it on a local network. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up my laptop, get OBS on there and Audacity and whatever, and we're going to record a video on my laptop for the first time, and we're going to be taking a look at how I would connect to the server on my computer. So I'll just make a note of this here. I'm going to leave this server running. So this is on my desktop computer. The next video will be on my laptop, and we're going to take a look at how we'd connect from there. So thanks for watching this, guys. As always, stay tuned, subscribe, leave me a comment, and I'll see you on the next video.